Hi everyone, I'm Arpita Kayal and welcome to my art channel Arpita Kayal Arts. So now let's talk about the another painting in which I have painted a beautiful scenery with the oil paints. So inspiration behind this beautiful landscape was the quiet escape into the nature. So I started blocking the jungle and the river with the dark colors and adding the highlights with the light shades first. In the oil paintings, if you will work dark to light, then it will be very easy for you to give the realism touch to your paintings. Then I started working on the cottage, and then I have added the intricate details by adding the shadows and highlights on the cottage. Then I started working the green space around the cottage. You can see the beautiful and colorful flowers around the whole green part of the cottage, and then I slowly layered in brighter greens and yellows and sky blues to give depth and light. Oil paints works wonderfully for this because it stays workable longer, allowing seamless blending. The trees in the background were created in layers to add a misty forest effect. Once the background was dry, I moved on to the cottage, painting the rustic textures of the wooden walls and thatched roofs using a combination of drying brush and fine detail work. The flowers around the cottage were added to add the vibrancy and life to the painting. That's why I have chosen the vibrant colors and bright colors for the flowers. Then we added some more details to give the life to the river by adding details on the boat and the ducks. This painting took around 30 hours to get complete. Yes, of course, you have to wait for your first layer to get dry, and then you can add more highlights to give a realistic touch to your painting. Then we will move to one more painting in which I have used a different approach with the oil colors to make that wildlife painting. So in this painting, a majestic deer with a dense jungle backdrop, I have used the different approach of coloring it with the oil paints. In this painting, I have colored the entire background first, and then I let it dry for 2 days, and then I worked on the intricate details of the deer. In this painting, you can see I have added the dark colors on the background. Unlike the deer is in the light shades, which is contrasting the background. This painting was all about capturing depth, texture and natural beauty using oil paints and layering techniques. The deer was placed slightly off center, surrounded by rich foliage to give that immersive jungle vibe. I wanted the background to feel deep and atmospheric, so layering played a key role in this piece. So to create this jungle background, I have added the first layer with the light colors, and then simultaneously I added the dark shades to the background. Then when the first layer and the second layer dried completely, I added these highlights with the white and blue color. So it added a beautiful, highlighted and realistic look to my background. So now let's talk about the deer. In the deer, I added the browns and ochres for the base layer first. In this, you can use any round or flat brushes. Then I started adding the intricate details of the fur with the fine brushes. For the intricate details of the fur, you have to wait at least for 1 day to let your first base layer get dry properly, and then by adding proper oils to your color, and then by diluting proper linseed oil to your colors, you have to add the fur details with a fine brush. So of course, how can we forget the mrignani, the eyes of the deer? For giving the realistic look to the eyes, I have added 2 layers of colors in the eyes too. First, I added the dark shades of oil paints in the eyes, and then To give that transparent and realistic look in the eyes, I added the highlights. So after using multiple layers of colors and giving all the fine details in the painting, this is the final result. So now let's talk about some helpful tips you will be needing while making an oil painting. So the first tip is the usage of oil in your paintings. Each layer should have more oil than the last to avoid cracking. You have to work from dark to light. This will help you achieve realistic depth. Ventilation matters in each and every painting. You have to sit in a well ventilated area. Take your time. The patience is very important. Oil painting isn't a rush. Let each layer dry before adding more. Of course, brushes should be cleaned after every painting. When you are making each and every painting, you have to clean your brushes with a solvent and a soapy water. Oil painting has taught me so much about patience, depth and color. If you're just starting, don't be afraid to experiment and make mistakes. It's all about the part of the process. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Till then, happy painting!